Hey everyone, hoping you're having a great day. It's Wednesday, April 15th. It's been about a month for me since I've been on quarantine, so that's why my hair is so long and that's why I have facial hair. So don't plan to shave until we get out of this quarantine and get a haircut. So I'm just going to be rocking this until we're out of this quarantine situation. If you don't know who I am, my name is Joe Bautista. I run this company called Grow with Joe, where I combine self-development coaching with financial planning for Latino professionals. And so my whole philosophy is like, if you want more in life, then you have to be more as a person. And the way that you're going to be more as a person is you grow yourself in four areas: your physical self, your mental self, your spiritual self, and your emotional self. And so that's why I wrote this book called More You Know, More You Grow, How to Get Better Every Day, just so you can get the strategies to help you start growing in those four cornerstones. And today's lesson that we're going to talk about today is having 5-minute problems. And in life, you want to strive to have 5-minute problems. You don't want to have year-long problems. We're all going to have problems. The idea is, do you want them to be champagne problems, or do you want them to be year-long problems? The key thing is we want to have champagne problems like, we made too much money, so we have to pay taxes. Oh, we made too much money, so we're not going to stimulus check. Those are 5-minute problems. What you can do with the other, but the idea is you want to have the resources to help you with those areas. And if you don't know yet, I'll do a daily podcast called Your Daily Cup of Joe. It's on Spotify, Apple Music. It just gives you roughly 5 to 7 minutes Monday through Friday on tips on how to grow yourself. So this is something I did a couple of months ago, maybe even a year ago, actually, where I wrote about having 5-minute problems. And so let me bust out the whiteboard real quick. Yeah, so today's lesson is we want to have 5-minute problems. So I guess it takes a little while for that to come up. So the way we have 5-minute problems is we need to work on ourselves in 5 different areas. Our human capital, our social capital, and we want to have financial capital. So if we start with the first one, human capital, what is that? What's that's going to look like is you have your physical self, you have your mental self, you have your emotional self, and then we have our spiritual self. So if you have a lot of human capital, that basically means you can make really good decisions, you have the energy, and you're going to, I don't know, just handle what life comes your way. So if you look at, it's taken a little while for it to show up on the screen, but the idea is when it comes to your physical capital, like you're working on yourself so you get the proper amount of sleep, you're getting the proper amount of working out, nutrition, so you have the energy to handle. Like one of the things is you want to make sure you're not too tired when you're making decisions, because then you're more likely to default into easier decisions. So there's a study where they looked at judges, and if you go to a judge, you don't want to talk to them right before they go to lunch, and you don't want to talk to them right before they go get off work, because by that time they've already been seeing 3 or 4 cases. So they're working 4 or 4 hours and they haven't had their break yet. So they're more likely to go like, okay, he's a little bit in trouble. Okay, we're just going to be like, okay, here's a standard sentence. But if you're able to go like after when they're refreshed, then hey, then you're more likely to get a linear ascending. So that by taking care of your physical self and taking breaks, it's going to give you the energy to not get exhausted. To work on your mental self, that means you're just reading books or some podcasts, and you're gaining wisdom. So with that wisdom, you can make better strategies. So if you can make better strategies to have better decisions, then you're going to be able to get through problems a lot faster, make them 5-minute problems instead of year-long problems. When it comes to your emotional self, that's making sure your ego is not getting in the way, like your ego telling you, oh, you shouldn't do this thing, or you should go for that race, like that inner voice saying, hey, you should. If you can get control of that and realize that you don't need other people's approval or anything, that can be really helpful. And then spiritual, that means for me, um, self-actualization, you know who you want to be and you're being that person. So if you know who you want to be, you're going to make decisions that are going to be in line with your values and your principles. If you don't know who you want to be in life, then you can go in any direction and it's not really going to be helpful. So by getting human capital, you're able to think of great solutions. You're going to have the energy to handle problems, think faster on your feet. Um, if you have a bad day, it's because you had a bad day. It's not a bad 5 minutes that you've been milking all day. So those are things you got to ask yourself. So by having a human capital, you'll be able to rebound faster and just get through to the next thing, get past that obstacle. The next thing you need to focus on is your social capital. This will help you out. So what you need to do is you need to work on your network. So you need to reach out to people in your network. Like I follow this from the Jordan Harbinger show. Like every day, send a text message to 5 people and be like, hey, how you doing? What's going on in your life? Just figure out what they're up to and just like see how I can help them. Like, oh, you work on this? Hey, do you need this book? I recommendation, or do you want me to introduce you to this person? So I recommend you look up Jordan Harbinger's. This Jordan Harbinger. He has a podcast that I really like called The Jordan Harbinger Show. But if you just Google Jordan Harbinger course networking, he has a course called 6-Minute Networking. So go check that out. That would really help you build up your network. I don't know why it's taking forever to show up on the screen, but you got to work on your social capital next. There it goes, and then from there you need to work on your financial capital. So making sure you have your retirement and you have your emergency fund. So emergency fund, you want to have like 6 months of expenses saved up. But like if things come up like a medical expense or some other expense, and you have to dip into your emergency fund, that's fine. So we want to have 3 to 6 months. It's there, supposed to be for a tool. And then we also want to make sure we're putting money into retirement because say we're working in the field and we don't like it, we want to have the option to switch it up. We don't want to be able to say, hey, we have to stick with this job because we don't have anything, so I have to work in order to eat. So the idea is you want to start accumulating, putting money away so that if life happens, you have the resources to handle it. You also want to make sure you have the right insurance in place as well. Like property, life insurance, health insurance, just so that those cover those issues. Disability insurance is part of a well thought out financial plan just to cover any of the holes. Umbrella insurance. But in order, like to say, to do the financial capital, it's really you have to work on the social capital and human capital. You can work on all three, but I would focus on the human capital first. And like if you can't have the financial capital first, like and then work on your social so you can get the network going because you want to have social capital because if you have any problems, you can reach out to somebody like, hey, can you help me out in this area? Financial capital help us like when the tire blows out on your car or whatever. So if you do work on yourself in these three areas, human capital, social capital, and financial capital, you're going to have 5-minute problems instead of being like, oh crap, what I'm going to do for the next 6 months because of coronavirus. Hey, I had a plan. We're going to get through this and things are going to be okay. So that's today's lesson. Just you want to have 5-minute problems in life because then you're going to have a lot more free time. If you don't have, let's say, the right coverage in place for insurance or the emergency fund, then those can turn into month-life problems or year-long problems, and we don't want that. So those are the three things to have 5-minute problems. Work on your human capital, work on your social capital, and work on your financial capital. So if you want more information about like how to get started for all this, I'm doing a webinar that's going to be every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So there's going to be a comment where you can sign up for that webinar. Space is limited to the first 100 people, but so that will be tomorrow. Today's Wednesday, so make sure you check that out. And yeah, if you have any questions, just reach out to me. I'm on social media at Grow with Joe on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or you can send me an email info@growwithjoe if you're looking to set up a meeting to either go over your financial plan or go over development coaching to see how you can start growing yourself in those areas. And also, if you want a free copy of my book, More You Know, More You Grow, How to Get Better Every Day, that just gives you a lot of great tips. A free audio book, just go to growwithjoe.me/book, and you can get that book right there as well. So hopefully you enjoyed today's lesson. And remember, if you go with Joe, you can grow with Joe, because Joe knows Joe.